Good morning, fourth graders. So great to see you again. I miss you so much. Today, we are going to be reading excerpts from Pepe the Lamplighter. So I want to make sure that you have already seen the read aloud of Pepe the Lamplighter. It should be in the reading folder on Schoology for week 2. If you have not listened to that, I would like you to stop the video now and go and listen to me read the book again. Okay, let's get started. So today you'll need a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen and something to write on. So I'd like you to go get that now. Go ahead and pause the video. All right, great. So we are going to be talking about inference and Pepe the Lamplighter. I would like you to think, what do you remember about inferring? Okay, great. I'm sure you remember quite a bit. So, inferences are clues from the text plus what you already know equal an inference, which is what the author has not stated directly in the text. So, before we start inferring, I would like you to think. We studied plot last week, so I want you to think about the plot for Pepe the Lamplighter. What do you remember about the plot? Go ahead and turn and talk to your partner. So when I think about the plot of Pepe the Lamplighter, I know that at the beginning, Pepe needed a job to support his sisters because his mother was dead and his father was sick. So he tried to get a whole bunch of different jobs and ended up getting the job of lamplighter, which he was really happy with until his father said that he was ashamed of him and that he belonged to the streets for lighting the lamps. So that problem was solved by his sister going missing and Pepe needing to go out and light the lamps so to make sure that the streets were not dark so that he could find her. And then he came home with her in his arms. So today, what we are going to be doing is I'm going to be reading some quotes from Pepe the Lamplighter, and then we'll make inferences about those quotes. So before we do that, I would like you to copy this chart, not this part, just the chart on your piece of paper. So it's just really a rectangle with a line down the middle and then 2 lines going across. What I know about this from my own life and the inference. Go ahead and pause the video and write or draw that chart. Okay, now that you have your chart, we're ready to start. We are going to do the first one together. This part, which you didn't put on your chart, says what the text says. And so this has the quote in it. So I'm going to read the quote and then I'm going to read you the part of the book that the quote is from, and we will figure out what we know about this from our own life, and we will then make an inference. Here we go. Poppa, Nicolina, Maricina, I have a job, he shouted. Beginning tomorrow, I will light the street lamps. Nicolina hugged him. Maricina kissed his cheeks. Assunta hopped up and down and clapped her hands, but Poppa sat silent and still, his face like stone. Did I come to America for my son to light the street lamps? He said. Then he walked out, slamming the door behind him. Pepe hung his head. Don't mind him, said Philomena. He's sick. He doesn't realize what he's saying, said Angelina. Papa loves you, says Adelina. It's a good job, Pepe, said Assunta. Pepe tugged gently on Assunta's hair and smiled at them, but he did not really feel like smiling. What the text says. Pepe gently tugged on Assunta's hair and smiled at them, but he did not really feel like smiling. What do you know about this quote from your own life? We're going to do the first one together without having you stop to turn and talk, and then you'll turn and talk for the next two. So, when I think about this quote, I know that Pepe smiled, but he didn't really feel like smiling. So when I smile, but I don't really feel like smiling, I'm trying to pretend that everything's okay because I'm smiling, but it's only really pretend. So I'm going to write that. Right. So when people smile but don't feel like smiling, they're trying to pretend that everything is okay. So then, what inference can I make about how Pepe is feeling? I'm thinking about what the text says. I'm thinking about what I know from my own life. Okay, so the inference I think I can make is that Pepe is smiling, but he doesn't feel like smiling. I know that when that happens in my life, that people are trying to pretend everything is okay. So the inference that I can make is that Pepe is trying to convince his sisters that everything is okay, even though Papa is mad at him. So I'm going to write that. quite sure if I spelled convince right, so I'm going to underline it. Okay, readers, now we are going to do the second one. So get ready to turn and talk. I'm going to read the excerpt, and then you are going to turn and talk. Here we go. Hey, Pepe, don't look so sad, Fat Mary teased, and Pepe tried not to. But Poppa stayed angry. You'll never amount to anything, he said. Gulina took Pepe's hand in hers. Don't worry about it, she told him. Pepe, look up when you walk, Nicolina reminded him as he left for work. Pepe tried, but when he came home, Poppa turned away. I don't even want to look at you. You make me so ashamed, he said. You never play with me anymore, Pepe, said Assunta. Pepe just lowered his eyes and didn't answer. And from then on, he rushed through the lighting of the lamps, sometimes forgetting which is which. So here's the quote. Pepe lowered his eyes and didn't answer. From then on, he rushed through the lighting of the lamps, sometimes forgetting which is which. Think. What do you know about this from your own life? And then, what inference can you make about how Pepe is feeling? Turn and talk. Okay, writers, I want you to write down here in this first box, what do you know about this from your own life? And then I want you to write an inference that you can make about how Pepe is feeling. We're doing this one right here. Go ahead. Okay, great. So, what I know about this from my own life? Well, I know that when people lower their eyes and people sometimes forget things, that they could be upset. So I'm going to write people are upset when they lower their eyes and are forgetful. Okay, readers, so then what kind of inference can we make about how Pepe is feeling? Well, Pepe must be upset because he's lowering his eyes, and I think he's upset because Poppa just told him that he's ashamed of him. So I'm going to write Pepe is upset. He's upset because Poppa just said he's ashamed of him. Okay, great. Last one. You guys are doing amazing. Pepe, when I'm bigger, I want to be just like you. I want to light the street lamps. I think it must be the best job in America. The best job? Said Pepe, wondering. You scare the dark away, said Assunta. Pepe smiled and held her tighter. He glanced up at the street lamp. You can light this lamp tonight, Assunta. He helped her hold the stick. On the way home, Assunta fell asleep in Pepe's arms. As Pepe walked, he held his head up, and his eyes were bright again. As Pepe walked, he held his head up, and his eyes were bright again. Think. What do you know about this from your own life? And what inference can you make about how Pepe is feeling? Okay, readers, you should have 2 boxes left. I would like you to write down your responses. Go ahead. Okay, great. So, as Pepe walked, he held his head up and his eyes were bright again. I know that when people are holding their head up and their eyes are bright, that they are proud. So, I'm going to say, when you hold up your head and your eyes are bright, you're feeling proud. So then, what inference can we make about how Pepe is feeling? Well, Pepe must be feeling proud. And why is he feeling proud? Well, I think it's because he found Assunta. And Papa was really upset about her going missing. So was the whole family. And he's the one that found her because he lit the street lamp. So now he's feeling proud. So I'm going to write, Pepe is feeling proud that he lit the street lamps and found Assunta. So, readers, today we talked about inferences. And remember, inferences are clues from the text plus what you already know equals what the author has not stated directly in the text, which is called an inference. For IDR this week, I would like you to think about a text when you're reading. Think about what kind of inferences you can make about how a character is feeling, or you could infer a character's actions. So, I would like you to go to Schoology, and in the reading folder, you will find on OneNote, well, actually you go to OneNote, and in OneNote, where your writer's notebook is, you'll see a reading folder. And in that reading folder, you're going to see a chart that looks like this. And so you're going to find a line of text, or a couple lines of text that you can make inferences from. You'll tell me what you know about the text from your own life, and then you'll make the inference. So that is due on this Friday. Have fun making inferences, fourth graders. I miss you so much.